You're watching Council Wrap-Up for the month of April. I'm Susan Kennedy. Up first, after visiting Montgomery County to sign a package of Amazon incentive bills, Governor Larry Hogan made a stop in downtown Rockville to meet with leaders there to talk about the city's future. Governor Larry Hogan was joined by Councilmember Sidney Katz, Rockville Mayor Bridget Newton, and County Executive Ike Leggett for a walking tour of the Stone Street corridor in downtown Rockville.
This is literally one block off from 355.
The city would like to make the corridor an arts and culture destination. However, Montgomery County Public Schools occupies 11 acres on Stone Street with a textbook depository and storage trailers. Officials would like to see MCPS relocate those trailers to make way for a more welcoming, eclectic community, even using the old Lincoln School as a community center.
So look at this old school bell from probably from 1935.
And it's pretty sad to see what is being used here. I mean, this is a couple blocks from Metro, and to have trailers that have been parked in here for many years. I mean, we kept joking, right here is the Heckinger trailer, and Heckinger's has been out of business in this area for decades. So why are we doing it this way? And it's an opportunity for everybody, for Montgomery County Public Schools, for the city of Rockville, for the Montgomery County, and for the state, obviously, that we all come together and figure out a better way to do this.
Governor Hogan took time to listen to community members.
Sounds like you're the one that's getting the whole community involved, huh?
And get his picture taken.
That's where we should be taking a picture, actually.
Yeah, let's do that.
At the entrance of historic Lincoln Park.
And it was very nice that he recognized the historic community of Lincoln Park. I mean, he made certain that he got a picture taken next to the sign. He understood while he was here that this community is a community that has thrived for many generations, but it needs an additional help. And something like this is that additional help.
A lot of people from the community were here to also share their comments.
Governor, the back of that trailer
is open.
That chair probably wasn't in a schoolroom for like the last 30 years.
Yeah.
And the process of how the city is going through the Stone Street plan and working to build something that will be an enhancement to the community.
Prior to his stop in Rockville, the governor signed a package of Amazon incentive bills designed to lure the corporation and its H2Q project to Montgomery County, adding even more relevance to his visit to Stone Street.
I think we're in really good position. The county executive and I, we had a great discussion with the Amazon folks, and everybody's pulling in the same direction. It's a fantastic place for Amazon to locate, and we've got everything that they're looking for, and we've put together, I think, the most aggressive incentive package in the country. And it's not done yet. We've done everything possible to make it happen, and we sure are hopeful that we can land those jobs.
The council started to dig in on its work on this year's operating budget this month after receiving the annual briefing on the proposal.
I'm going to just talk through some of the key points and point out some of the key resources that are in your packet.
This year's proposed $4.9 billion budget recommends only slight increases and some decreases in funding in all county agency budgets. The only exception is Montgomery County Public Schools, which received a 3.1% increase in its budget. The increase fully funds the board's request, allowing the schools to meet the needs of its growing student population.
The enrollment in the schools just continues to grow leaps and bounds. I think we had about 2,000 new students in the school system this year. So we need to ensure that our resources are not gradually diminishing in the schools, and in fact, we need to continue to do more to meet the great needs that our students have.
We have known now for quite a number of years that every year there seems to be an additional number of students that come in, and these are students affected by poverty and other challenges. So it is obvious that the school system, as it is really striving to understand how to directly and strategically address these issues, they're going to need more resources.
Despite the county's relatively strong economic status, officials say revenue is down due to lower than projected tax income as the result of changes in the federal tax laws, the ongoing burden of the Wynn case, and the county's changing demographics.
Thank you very much.
However, on the upside, unemployment in Montgomery County remains very low, and the housing market here is thriving.
We expected one revenue level this year. Something else is happening, and property taxes have been a little bit lower than we thought. So, that's the context that we're in. There's sort of a mismatch between the revenue that's coming in and the underlying conditions of the community. And so we are having a more constrained budget than we might otherwise have. But, that's kind of the nature of the game.
The budgets for police and health and human services are up by 1.5% in this year's proposed budget.
Have you ever experienced domestic violence? No.
Council members say as they begin the process of work sessions and deliberations on the budget, protecting core county services and safety net programs county residents rely on will be a priority.
Well, it's going to be a challenge. We will have to add some funding to the budget somehow for critical services. And so the committees will be going through the process and adding recommendations for if we can find some additional savings here or there. Here's how we might enhance some of those critical safety net services.
A final vote on the budget is scheduled for May 24th. Also this month, Montgomery County celebrated the long-awaited grand reopening of a local treasure. Great news for library lovers in the east part of Montgomery County. After being closed for nearly 1 year for a refresh project, the White Oak Library is back in business. And at the official ribbon cutting, there were plenty of officials and residents on hand to kick off this new chapter for this treasured community resource.
This is a very close-knit community, and this library obviously is a huge asset. But, it really needed some TLC. I live very close by. My daughters would come here a lot. I would bring them over when my daughter was at White Oak Middle School, and always, wondered what can we do to enhance this library. So in 2014, I actually asked, in the HHS committee for us to incorporate this in the list to evaluate and see if it could be refreshed, and the executive included it in 2015.
When a library is closed for almost a year like this was, it feels like something's missing, but it's great that we had the resources to do the refresh project and to make it a much nicer and better library. So people are really going to appreciate it.
The White Oak Library was originally built in 1967 and renovated 30 years ago. These latest improvements go beyond new carpet and paint. New ergonomic desks, shelving, and furniture are just a few of the upgrades patrons will see when they visit the library. On our visit, the children's room was a popular spot.
I am delighted that we're reopening this library here in White Oak. We continue to move forward, even in the really difficult budgetary challenges we've had in the past. We try to make certain that we continue on the path of something that is important for learning, for employment, but more importantly, a community space for which all people come together.
Though technology has increased access to information for many, council members agree the need for community libraries has not disappeared and that they are so much more than a place where books are stored.
Libraries are really evolving, and I say that they're not just what we traditionally think of. They've become almost like job centers in the sense that people come here to do work or to search for jobs, and young people come if they need to, use computers. Our senior citizens also are able to use all these different platforms. I mean, it really has evolved into a multi-purpose type of asset.
For more information on the county's other library refresh projects, visit the Department of General Services website. And finally, part of the county's commitment of fighting the opioid epidemic includes training on how to use a life-saving drug in an overdose situation. It's widely known that a dose of Narcan can reverse the effects of an opioid overdose in a matter of minutes. First responders carry the drug with them on all calls, but Montgomery County is giving residents the opportunity to save a life as well.
So you're doing no harm by giving them a dose or two of the Narcan, and I'll show you how to use that.
The county is offering free training to community members so they can step in and help a person who is overdosing on opioids right away.
And certainly here in Montgomery County, we've had the full breadth and depth of the whole population, come to these trainings. So again, it would be definitely family members, it would be peers of users, it would be people in recovery now, it would be police, nurses, social workers, people working in the field. A lot of our employees in behavioral health and crisis services attend the session.
We know that if Narcan is administered and administered in a timely way, it saves lives. And people make mistakes if the Narcan's not there.
If the first dose doesn't work for some reason, you have a second dose, just go to the other nostril.
It becomes a permanent mistake. If you can bring somebody back and you can get that person into counseling and get that person some help, maybe this is the time that a person realizes they have to make changes in their life. You won't get a second chance if you don't have that kit there.
That these come as 4 milligrams. Each of these is 4 milligrams. Each
Dr. Abby Morris is the medical director for the county's overdose response program. She says community members who are trained to administer the drug,
take it out, it looks like this,
are key to reversing the trend of overdose deaths.
Fingers here. Okay, put your fingers here, on the bottom. So we have people who come from the shelters, people who come from libraries. Place it in the nose. I've been encouraging people to come from McDonald's and Starbucks because that's the bathrooms in which people are overdosing. And then you can withdraw that. So it's been exciting to see people get excited about what we're doing. I appreciate the county so much for wanting to do this. Again, as a physician, I've seen people dying in the ER. I've seen patients who've come after, serious overdoses, parents who've lost children. I have a private patient who lost her son to an overdose, and I see how that year after year after year still plays out in all of their lives. I mean, one life touches so many others. And so it is a good feeling to know that when people leave here, they're empowered to do something.
Since implementing the program in 2014, the county has trained more than 700 residents on how to administer Narcan, and the demand is growing. The classes can hold up to 30 and usually fill up. At the end of each class, there's a test. If you pass,
perfect. You did well in school, I can tell.
You leave the training with your own personal Narcan kit.
After you've given Narcan, they're in withdrawal, they don't feel so good. They probably don't want to eat. They may ask for some water, things like that.
Well, I just see how many lives it's affecting, especially mothers. I had seen some media about that earlier, so that really emotionally triggered me.
I've been aware of all the news reports recently about the opioid problems in this area and around the country. And because I'm a member of the Montgomery County CERT, I also had that interest. We, of course, are concerned with saving lives if necessary and assisting the public, definitely. And this would be just another facet.
We work with families with kids with mental illness, and so it could be a possibility that we might be at a family's home, and this could be something that would be valuable for us. I don't know much about it, so I guess I'm here to be educated also.
Dr. Morris says before someone administers Narcan, they should try and wake the person first.
And you're going to wake them up. Hey, Annie, hey, you, what's going on? You all right?
And of course, call 911 after administering the drug.
Don't know how far away the emergency response team is going to be. 30 to 90 minutes, this is going to wear off. So you might give Narcan, and if you've waited too long to call 911 and they're on their way and it takes them 45 minutes to an hour for some reason to get to you in this traffic, the Narcan could wear off and they could go back into being dead.
Currently in Maryland, you can purchase Narcan over the counter, but not all pharmacies carry the drug.
If I go to my local CVS,
Jacob Melamed is a clinical psychologist who recommends his patients who have a child with an opioid issue get training on using Narcan.
I see a number of parents who are bewildered about what to do when they discover their children are dependent on opioids. And my first recommendation is, as a Christmas gift, as a birthday gift, as an anniversary gift, as a gift to yourself, you want your child and you want to own Narcan because you want to be able to save your child's life, or your child should be in a situation to self-administer or have a friend administer. It's the best gift you can give someone who's struggling with opioid dependence.
To find out when the county will be holding its Narcan classes, visit the event calendar. Well, that does it for this edition of Council Wrap-Up. For more information on the Council's work, you can visit the website. I'm Susan Kennedy for County Cable Montgomery.